Uh-oh. Flex.
Jeez. Oh, wow. Did it go over?
Yeah.
Let's go. Welcome back to Slingshot Disc Golf. I'm Coach T. Today I'm going to keep this video really lighthearted. For the past 3 years, I've been a full-time backhand form online disc golf coach. Just looking back at my life, that's probably the weirdest sentence I could ever say, but that's been the reality. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of clients in the last 3 years. Most of my clients are people that are stuck at 400 feet that want to get to 500 feet, or 450 to 550. That's sort of been my realm. I've worked with a lot of beginners as well. I'm working with more beginners lately. I've done a lot of random form reviews. I've done form reviews for YouTube personalities. I've done form reviews for big name professional disc golfers. If there is one fact that I could pull from this experience, it's that arming the disc, the deep pocket, which is just pulling the lawnmower, leading with your arm, they're all synonyms. It doesn't work. It never has. It never will. And whoever you are right now watching this video, forget about me. If you have spent any time actually going down that form rabbit hole and just being addicted and really trying to get better, ask yourself, has arming the disc ever worked for you? If it did, you're a unicorn. This video is not for you. Let me know in the comments if you can relate to this, but the reality is when you go to arm the disc, you use that technique, all that ever happens is you hurt your shoulder. That's the only thing that happens. You just hurt your shoulder because you're just pulling the lawnmower. Deep pocket, leading with the arm, it's all the same thing. It's just pulling the lawnmower. We also need to keep in mind that people who teach you to arm the disc, they arm the disc themselves. But if you do want to use the arming the disc technique, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice because I used to arm the disc that's going to save you a lot of time. Learn from this mistake that I made. When I first started, I was arming the disc and I was stuck at 300 feet. And I basically got there the first day or two. I was throwing with my arm 300 feet because that's what people do. They just start throwing with their arm. And naturally, I was athletic enough to get it to 300. Then I went down the YouTube rabbit hole, 8 hours a day, all day long, watching everything that ever existed, doing all the drills, all the stuff to a T, because when someone teaches me something, I do it exactly. At the end of 2 months, something had happened to me that had never happened in the history of my life. I didn't improve at all. I was still stuck at 300 feet. In fact, I actually went down to 270 at one point because I walked around the disc. Another topic. You want to know why I was stuck at 300 feet? Because arming the disc is extremely simple. It may be the most simple concept in the history of sports. What had actually happened is I mastered it the first day. I mastered it on day one. So if you are going to use this technique, understand that you should get that technique down in a day or two, and you should not work on it. Don't waste your time because it's such an unbelievable simple concept. There's nothing to work on. It's too easy. All right, let's look at one of my students that I worked with this offseason who went from literally just arming the disc completely to using their body and kind of look at what a realistic offseason progression looks like. Okay, we're gonna look at my student Ryan's before and after over the winter. As I'm filming this, it's daylight savings time and I have 5 spots for individual online coaching that have just opened up. If you are interested, email me at slingshotdiscgolf10@gmail.com. Repeat, only 5 spots for coaching left. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is about a 2-month progression over the winter. Let's focus on the left. Ryan was throwing with nothing but his arm, so it kind of relates to this video. So the thing I want you to notice is his body's square to the camera, like he's playing defense on the camera. You're going to see his arm pull through. And when his arm pulls through, his body stays square to the camera the whole time, which is often a symptom of arming the disc. Ultimately, when I'm coaching people, I try to get them to get their body involved, at least a little bit at first. The key to that is developing some rotation with the back leg, the core, the obliques, the hips. On the right, you can tell that there's just more body involved. This is a couple months later. I know he gained, I can't quite remember how much he gained, but I think he's gained about 100 feet, but ultimately his shoulder doesn't hurt anymore. All I want you to focus on is the left arm, the leg, and the body, and how it rotates a little bit more. You can just tell that it's more active. It's not just staying parallel towards the camera. My advice is to learn what rotational weight transfer is. I'm going to be making some more in-depth videos on it. But you want to see rotational frames. On the top, when we first started, there's no rotational frames. You'll just see his body kind of stay the same the whole time. Taking your eyes to the bottom of the screen, you get to this frame, and then you see the body actually rotate. You see it actually turn. This is not a finished product, but ultimately he's getting his body involved. That's why he gained 100 feet, and that's why there's no more pressure on his shoulder. And that's one of the biggest issues with disc golf is nobody's using their body. If you don't use your body, not only is it not a sport at that point, but you're not going to create any rotational torque, which is going to put a ton of effort on your arm and your shoulder. So it's 2024. My advice to those who are struggling is learn how to rotate your body. Get it involved, because your power muscles are your legs and your core and your back. You're not going to have a whole lot of power in your shoulder, and that's been proven through time. The easiest way to compare throwing with your arm versus throwing with your body is we're trying to do a barbell squat while you're doing shoulder flies with 10-pound dumbbells. It's not optimal. Slingshots for everybody.
Wow.